What's Your View podcast?
Welcome to the What's Your View podcast with Olu Dolapo. This podcast was created as a space for real people with real life experiences that most people can relate to and learn from. Have a great time listening. This episode is the final episode of Dolapo's conversation with friends, and this time they talk about adulting and its realities.
We want to talk about adulting and its realities, right? I think on social media over time, you always see something like adulting is not easy, adulting is a big deal, adulting is this, adulting is that.
Majorly the savings or credit part.
Do you get if you have to like withdraw money or to spend money or do all of these things, right? These are the realities of adulthood. So I just want us to talk differently or individually about how adulthood has influenced our growth so far or our decision making so far, and what you would actually like say to someone who is just stepping out into the world, quote and unquote, right? So wants to go first?
First, I think adulthood is whatever you make it out to be. For your own self, whatever you make it out to be, whatever definition you decide to put to your, because the sincere truth is everything boils down to be trying to emphasize the fact that things are not easy, right? When we look at it generally, if I'm complaining about adulthood and Praise is complaining and Professor is complaining, the reality is that at the bottom of the whole thing, it still boils down to it boils down to this money. Everybody is looking at it in different ways, different perspectives, different, but you know, just as whatever experience you are having, no matter how much you try to communicate it to people will never know the extent to which that experience has made who you are. And in a way, nobody can really tell you that, oh, this is what your life is, when they don't really know those things. Do you get? So in a way, it makes it also the same when it comes to this adulthood thing. It boils down to whatever definition you put to it. For me as a person, now when it comes to looking at a young person and trying to advise that young person, and depending on the state I think that person is generally in life, you know, a child that is from a good home, that, you know, they have this split parenting thing, his appearance is a little bit financially okay, does not have to overthink things just to figure out stuff. There is a way you give advice to that kind of child, because there is a comfort that comes with what that child has that can affect that child's adulting, kind of. Same thing with a child that are totally opposite of that, like a child that is from the gutter. Basically, the only thing I would probably teach that kind of child is how to manage finances, and it will be from my own personal experience, because, you know, when you are from a home where no money, nobody teaches you how to budget, how to do this, you do things instinctively. You even save instinctively. When everybody's telling you that, oh no, this is the way to do it, you say, oh, now talk down. No. I actually think this is the way to do it. So, but from experience now, at least I've learned some things, and because I can relate with where that child is from, I can easily just advise the child that no matter what you are going through, just put some measures in place for your finances, and it will help you. But don't expect that life will be easy. Just don't expect that it will be easy. don't expect that it will be easy. While for the other child that is from a good home, the only thing I would just say is that try as much as possible to resist comfort.
That's relative. You cannot just resist all type of comfort.
Well, maybe.
Comfort is
maybe.
Yes.
Maybe.
No. It's not like the kind of comfort that will hinder your growth that you should.
Maybe.
Exactly.
But the issue now.
But really, if it doesn't hinder your growth, how do you know it's going to hinder your growth?
Yeah. The issue now is this. The issue now is this. It's just like saying the fact that we have a bowl of ice cream here. Does that mean we should consume everything, or should that mean we should consume the ice cream?
Yes.
Yes, now.
We can consume
We can consume the whole thing. You see, that's culture. That's the person who said talking about. Like,
Well, me, when I'm looking at it, I'm not actually looking at it from that perspective.
Really, you are tough. Now, I think you are tough does not necessarily to do with you. It's because of the background you came from.
No, that's not even actually what I mean. When I'm talking about if we have ice cream here, does that mean we should consume everything? I'm talking about one individual person. Now, I didn't emphasize whether or not we have multiple ice cream. I just said if we have ice cream here. So if we have ice cream that is for you, now for a child that is from a place where, has always had everything easy and cool and all, the sincere truth is that maybe finishing it is good and nice, but sometimes it is just, it can be a form of not self-harm as it were, just trying to come to a particular realization. Like, okay, what would even happen if I don't finish this thing? What if, instead of finishing this thing, what if I actually divide it and give someone else?
To me, he's already talking about you being an adult. That's why you think like that.
What we're actually talking about is adulting.
Exactly.
And what I'm trying to talk about...
We're talking about money. The reality of, having the resources to actually
because
get
what I'm actually leading to now is that when I said comfort, you won't always live with your parents. I know what my friend was like when he was no longer with his parents. As much as it might be easy to just take ice cream and you consume everything, I know how even he wished that he was not brought up that way. Because there are some things that will now come that those kind of things will already influence. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but like she said, I'm already speaking from the perspective of being an adult. But that's really the thing, because when I'm talking to a young person that is going to become an adult, the first thing is it's not going to be easy. But whatever the case may be, just to understand that life is life. You will overcome. Everything will pass.
You'll be fine.
You will face. You will be fine. Like it's basically.
That's the word. Why you are not fine?
Okay. I actually get what today is saying, to be honest. Adulting and its realities for me. Okay, the first thing that comes to mind is, for me, I have a certain life I want to live. I am wired in a certain way already, and I feel like I cannot lower the standard. It either goes up or it goes up. So what I tell myself is, the life you want to live, the things you want to do, right? You work hard to make money for them. You work hard to attain the life.
It's step at a time.
I agree.
You have a job. That's why you can say.
think of work.
I will work hard.
It's because you have a foundation, a particular kind of.
Angela, not just a job. You have multiple streams to actually.
They are facing is.
It's really adulting and really humbling.
When people say, "Oh, I'm going through depression,"
it's money, it's not that.
no, you're even thinking about it from the place of money. When you think about it from the place of people, who do you have? Like when you think about it, there are some people that literally do not have anybody. Like literally, they don't have any. Like when you see your friend saying, "Oh," not even saying, "Oh, I'm calling home for money." I'm just saying, "Oh, I want to even go to Lagos. I want to stay with my brother." You don't have anybody. You have to just find a way out. Like you have to seem weird with your friends, and your friend will just go, "Who is this guy that just came to my house?"
Today, I agree with you, but I have a different opinion to that. Do you also realize that there are many people who have people, but do not go to them?
But they can't approach them.
Not because they cannot approach them, but they just feel like these people found life out by themselves. I would also find life out for myself. I'm a typical example. I don't depend on anybody. Like anybody. Like when people look at me and they're like, "You have this, you have that." That's on you. That's on you.
Disagree with this notion. When people say they have no one and they don't go to people, the fact that you don't go to people does not mean people are not interfering in your matter. The fact that someone will even call you to know that you exist is one thing. You don't really need anybody. You don't really need anybody. But the fact that someone will even call you, like literally, there are some people that if they die today, before people that know them at all would even know they are dead, it will take like 2 to 3 months. I'm not kidding with you. Like before anybody will know that Chebi.
That's on another level. That's serious.
Another example is this. I've been in Abeokuta for how long now? Nobody here has seen my parents. My dad is late though, but nobody has seen my mom, literally. You've never seen her before. But I keep saying I have a mom. What if I don't?
This is your life. That's the only.
No. What I'm even trying to drive at now is that in case something happens, definitely someone here would definitely just want to take up that responsibility, because you just assume that that mom wants more. Who do I know that I want to call because of this guy now? Let me just take it up for this person. So I really feel that this thing is just really.
I agree with Tunde, but you see, I'm saying this because they will not go to them. Not because they do not want to go to them, but because when you go to them, I mean, it's the same old story. I made my money myself. Go find life out for yourself. Yes, go find life out for yourself. And that's the stage and phase we're all at. However, you now want to find out life is on you. It's really on you. Is it that you want to sit still and let life happen to you? Or you actually want to happen to life?
Make things happen.
I think we should really explain this to when you look at it, what some people are just when you think about it, like for some people, just
Talking about testimony, I think he has a good testimony as regards that. I won't say that. My life is still not dependent on my parents to an extent. What I am right now, but I think he has a good story.
Really, for me, life happened, and we became an adult from childhood. You know, I live where most of the lessons you are going to learn are from people on your streets, guys that are going to teach you. And one thing I learned early in life is hard. Guy, life is hard, because one thing is you can imagine going to school and your parents you can imagine you're going to school and your parents paid for acceptance fee, leaving you to source for the other. You can imagine. And being in a particular city, schooling in that city, and your parents never came to your school to check on you, not once. There was a day my father was passing by, and he said, "Come and meet me." So I met him on the road, and I pointed to my house from afar. I said, "That's my house. That's the house I paid my money. It's my money." Oh. So he's not saying, "Hey, that's the house you stay." Oh, that's good. So he didn't even bother to say, "How did you even pay for this kind of house?" So life has happened to us early. I lost my mom when I was 15. I was in SS1. So it was me and my dad with 5 of us. So it's what our father can bring that we take. So I happen to be the manager of my mommy's shop. What do we sell? We sell provisions and all this. So you just know that you cannot spend money from this shop, because this is what is paying your school fee. I was in SS1. Our first one was in 100 level, there about in the college. But one thing I have always said to myself is that my line will be different from everybody. I have always been like, my brother went to a college of education. My immediate elder brother went to a college. I said it that I was never going to attend a college of education. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I just know that it was going to. And I was not the most brilliant of us. Maybe I was the least. But it happened that determination, and sometimes you never take out the part of God. There is a plan. There are just some parts you cannot explain. Because I failed into a university. You know, they say people, you pass jam, you pass this, and you get into a school. But me, I failed in. You know how your jam score usually regress? Over the years, your first jam will be 250. You will not get into school. The next one will be 218. The next one. So over the years, you just realize that it's like I'm becoming a dollar gradually. But yet I failed into a university. And sometimes you never undermine the power of speaking into your future. sometimes you don't know how to figure it out. You don't even know how it will work. But you are just determined in your heart and you are saying it over the time that one day I will become this. One day I will. Like the other time we were talking about food, that you are just thinking, why are we not eating this food? Why you are saying, why are we not eating this food? Me, I'm thinking in my mind that one day I now eat this food. Do you understand? So those things, it usually happen like that, and never be lazy too. The realization that life is hard should make you go hard. Don't go home. Try as much as possible not to have teeth here to go home. So go hard.
Face the journey.
So be broke. So try as much as possible to be broke, not to go home. So it's a long journey. Most of us are going to spend a long time here. So you don't need to figure out everything now. Just
let me check this thing. You know, when you look at a particular, like he said, like when him is looking at the food, you know, there's a way these guys that become touts, they've seen life before now, they've seen good stuffs in life, but those good stuff don't have meaning to them. I don't know if you, so when I was talking about when I see food, that's where I'm coming from. Yeah. It's not even about, I don't even know what that food means. I don't know whether it's special or it's not special. I'm just looking at it that, it seems nice. It just seems nice. So I just want to know why is it that our own is different. Because I want to know the category at which my family fall, like what's our category? You know, when I think about it now, like there were some times when all my aim and everything, because you know, being an adult from childhood, you start to look older than you are already. So let's say you are 16, you already look 23. And you know the funny thing is that because you look 23, you already have friends that are in that room. So me, I had friends that were riding bikes. I mean, I thought buying a bike was cool. Buying a bike, buying an half plot of land in Elepe, building 2-bedroom apartment and building a shop in front. Then you can get one girl. That was what I thought life was like at some point, because then I was learning this electrical engineering, and I would always climb pole to fix. So my savings, everything was that. Let me just buy 2 bikes. But it's essentially like he said, for every time you want to make that kind of decision, for someone like me, I don't know, for it, God will just take you to a place where you have some kind of exposure. You just see some things, and your mind will just tell you that, wait, why would I settle for this? Why would I settle for this when there's still this in front? And that knowing, you keep aspiring, you keep moving to the point where when people that you were with then, when they see you, they feel stressed emotionally. If you get what I mean, they feel stressed in the sense that when they want to think of trying to pursue the kind of things that you are pushing, because they know your past, it seems so far that they just be like, the only thing they can do is just hate you like this boy. Just be going, don't stay around us. Just be going. Let us stay in the fact.
I was just thinking, I'll just continue from where you stopped. And you said that you wanted to buy 2 bikes, and you got to a point, and that just brings us to the fact that human needs are insatiable. Yeah. Like if you had gotten those 2 bikes, you still want more, because you get to a point that those 2 bikes will not even, by the time the mindset, like you said, impregnate a lady, you see that, those bikes will not even meet your needs anymore. And that's the thing about adulting. You want to keep breaking forth. You want to keep doing more. You want to, and see, for this thing, our background doesn't really matter. Some, of course, there are exceptions to every rule. Because they have not gotten the exposure you have. They've not seen the lights. They've not seen. All they know is the 4 walls of that vicinity. Do you understand? And the local champion there is their God. The local champion there is the best person. Do you get? You can even have it all. I mean, your parents can give you all to settle you when it comes to adulting. But you see things, you read books, you watch the TV. You want those things you see. So even the wealth they leave for you or whatever you have around you would not even sustain you. So you have to work for yourself. You have to say things. You have to put in effort and, keep driving yourself forward. Else, nobody. I mean, we all like the life too. It's on you eventually, and it's your life.
Yeah. I want to say, adulting can be relative. I don't think everything's about money. So like, there's I think there's a place for character development. For someone like me now, I'm at the point where it seems like there are some things I should have learned like a long time ago. So some things are now coming up. It looks like that there are some insecurities I never knew I had. Do you get? So like I never dealt with. No, it's not. It's like I did not know.
It's actually not even knowing.
Yeah, like I did not know. So like now it's just a matter of it's sometimes it's hard because if I look around, if I look around and look at my peers, right, it seems like they shot past me a long time ago. So now I'm just thinking like I've tried. Okay, let's just cooking for example, right? My friends learned to cook like a long time ago. I was not allowed to cook, okay, and you like cooking, but
really you never feel like
cooking in your mid-20s should be like something you should be able to do, and then you try to approach it, and then it's nonsense that you do. You get? Also, like I've tried approaching cooking now, like hypothetically, like I'm a pro. Like no, I can do this thing, forget it, and then and then I do actual rubbish, and I'm surprising myself. I'm like, so like.
One of your special skill there was
No. I use cooking because like cooking has always been like I've only cooking from a young age, but I'm just using this to cover something else. Do you understand? So like I mean you approach cooking and then you're cooking nonsense. So now I'm now at the point where like I now discover that it takes humility. It takes humility to acknowledge where you are. Right now, that to say, okay, like actually, I need to take baby steps. I know Sabi, and that's hard. It's hard first of all because like you are already at a particular age where you feel like you should know this thing. It's also hard because okay, I'll speak for my gender. I mean, boy, like, I have my ego and all of that. Do you understand? So yeah, like what I'm trying to say is like don't be so in love with where you think you should be that you don't acknowledge where you are right now. That's very exactly.
But I think in a chill to what you just said, I mean, there's no shame in not doing it.
But sometimes people will have put you on a kind of pedestal like it's not Dolabo. Dolabo should
At the end of the day,
I don't know it.
exactly. At the end of the day, it's you and it's on you.
I don't know
not
this
to
thing.
admit it that you.
It's on you.
I was having a conversation with the lady last week. I was saying that it took a while before I knew how to use like a certain software on the laptop because she's a tech person. I was like, Dolapo, you that have a podcast, you that can do that. But I don't know how to do it. I do not know how to.
You've not seen someone that you expect that. You just you train a car key to someone and the person is telling you that I don't know.
I do not know how to drive.
See, this thing is that people's expectations.
Yeah,
so either we fall into it or we fall out of it, and take our lives by it. It's
sometimes too. Going back to the street smartness. Sometimes using the example of training a car key at you. Some of us learned driving the hard way. Like number one is some people their father does not even have a car. How do you expect them to know how to drive?
Or maybe somebody will stay with them.
So now,
like 3,000.
now for me now, my father has a car. And he deals in cars. He sells cars. Sometimes he bring a client's car home, and my dad will travel for the next 2 months, expecting us to warm the car in the morning and return the key. Do you understand? So, warm the car is a time, it's a routine for us. 1 minute, as at 8 o'clock, 1 minute for 15 minutes. Press the throttle, vroom, vroom, and take the car key, return it to his bedside. So what we do is, we pick up the car. We are out. Nobody is teaching us. It's me and my brother. Come, reverse. It's okay. But
how do you even know that?
But do you know that? And there was no Google. You understand? We were not using Google. There was nothing like using Google then. So for us, do you know that the first time I drove my father to Lagos,
He was surprised.
He was shocked. So he wanted to be teaching me what to do. You know how those people can be sitting behind, like it's okay, easy. So he was not telling me the same thing that happened to me while driving on that journey. He was not sharing with me that. Can you imagine? I was shocked when I got to know that your elder brother knows how to drive. I said, that guy is 30 something. And you are saying you are shocked. So, for all that we have, number one is just know that you have to figure out life on your own, regardless of what you are being taught. You just have to figure some things out. Some of us just knew that I can never know maths. Not because of anything. So the first thing is, you cannot be an engineering student.
At all.
Do you understand?
Just because you chose not to deceive yourself.
You have to tell yourself the truth that, yeah, this thing not be me.
Just live your truth.
So just live according to the truth you have gotten over time. But this parents will leave you to find out life because they find it out in the hard way.
What about parents? What about parents?
But they are projecting their kids.
Yes.
Exactly. What about parents who they don't want to acknowledge that you're actually in a position to make decisions for yourself. What about parents who just aggressive? It's not even about saying, oh, I just want to be. No, I feel like you're saying my child, you're saying my baby, I just want to care. It's always more about
You cannot.
I mean, Baba, I said, man.
There is a place of diplomacy in everything you do. There is a place of diplomacy in everything you do. Sometimes while you are studying the so-called what they want, you are at the same time fueling your hustle. So for somebody that is, sometimes it happens. Forget what your parents want you to study. Sometimes you didn't get admission and university is giving you a stupid course. It's the same thing as complying to your father's studying medicine. University will give you something too. Okay, study this thing. We think you, even though they didn't even sit down, they are just putting people. They say this course should be in this school. This course you got in JAM should not leave this school. Let's put him in SSLM, soil science. You understand? While you are studying that thing, you are putting your energy into the other thing that you know that this is what I really want to do. So it's the same thing as university giving you a course and your father giving you a course. So accept either ways. Either you are accepting your father's or you are accepting university and now pushing for the other one. Some people have gone to school and they will go and relearn again. They will go back to the same university to study another course. Or other way around, some people actually study a course and they change department without their parents' consent.
And they come out of school and parents like,
Because some parents, they do. My father does not know what I studied in school. He knows I went to school. If I was lying, he has never seen my certificate. I didn't matriculate, I didn't convocate.
Well, you have certificates.
You can imagine. But they knew that my father can boldly say anywhere and say, I have 3 university graduates. But did he even know that if I dropped out, but at least I can show for it that I hustle. And God gave grace upon my hustle.
How did you manage that skill? Like knowing that nobody cares whether you don't
Graduated.
That was his drive.
It's just drive actually. Because these are things that when you achieve, you feel accomplished yourself. Like,
I don't think I was even ever conscious of it. I just do my own thing. Like I'm the one responsible for myself.
for yourself.
So when I'm doing this thing and I feel like that thing no longer pays me, I move to the next thing that pays me. Because I feel like I don't have any blueprint. Nobody told me
Nobody is.
what you should do.
So many of us don't have.
Most of us, we don't have blueprints. We are just what.
Just navigate.
Yeah.
You've all said a lot, so but there's something I wrote here. You see, adulthood, is in phases, and then everybody have their own peculiar stories.
Yeah.
For me, it's just like Festus said that he learnt a lot of things himself and all of. I had present parents, like parents that they were really involved in our lives. They wanted to know. My dad knew
English.
my dad had English teacher. He had maths. He saw that I was just failing maths. Even with the English teacher, it was not helping my life. So he just said, I said I didn't want art class because I didn't like the literature teacher. That was my excuse. I said, okay, what do you want? I want to be a banker. I had cousins, aunties that were bankers, and I loved the way they used to dress and all of those things. And it's not that I didn't deceive myself. I shared it with my father and said, okay, what do you want? And then I was a bright student. Okay, am I still bright? Like, but in secondary school, so they just assumed I should be in science class, but I didn't deceive myself because I knew math was not it for me. But I went to commercial class where I had to do a little bit of maths. I just pulled through, like I did well, finished. And I went to a school where I was like the poorest of rich kids. You know how your father would struggle that mommy obodo law school in this particular school. Most of my classmates, they had, when you're in SS2 and you're already saying Covenant, Redeemers University, Backup, the one that went to Birmingham, Kinikon. So, but me, my own was just OAU or UI. OAU.
You are even in the school that they are talking about OAU or UI. You are not even talking of anything. Just
so I was it was from there I knew, okay, and then life happened. My dad could not pay my last school fees and all of that, so he went to negotiate with the proprietor of the school. You cannot afford to he went with the confidence that I was a bright student and then I'm an asset to their school. You see, you cannot afford to lose my daughter, and so you give me payment plan for her school fees. She's not as privileged as her classmates. So my dad knew what was going on, so there was no peer pressure or anything. So I did all of that. I graduated, my friends say, oh, I'm in Redeemers 100 level, I'll be seeing on Facebook, they are this, they are that, and then I was writing jam. Not because I don't pass, so I passed jam like post UTME OAU. They kept, post and then like that. It happened like 4 years. Within that 4 years, now that's where my own adulthood started. So my parents were trying their best, encourage. When you are waiting for the post, you won't come immediately after post UTME exam. You stay with your friends, so that you people finish school together in their hostel, and they'll say, that's my classmate, we finish together, and then you are still jamming and post jamming, and then you're waiting for the result, and you see maybe 198. I was always near, like, or the day I finally had 200, they said, there is 1 year course they'll give me, they can never give me anything related. Okay, and I'll call my dad. My dad said, don't worry, just come on. He would give me, all of those things. Then I had a scholarship in Birmingham City University. I thought, finally, at least. All those my friends, all those my clinic, finally, even the girl that they think is not privileged is going to, Oyibo will be calling me. Hey, so when are you going to resume? When are you going to do that? So your visa, your whatever, scholarship is not full. So you still have to spend money. So my dad just collected gratuity, the first gratuity then. When you tell your father, Daddy, I need about 1.5 million to sort this so that I can even travel and all of that. My father just shows it, and my parents are really open. I give it to them. I know how much my dad earns, so there's no unnecessary high expectation. I know how much comes into the house. I know how much my mom makes from my business. So as he saw the alert, and fortunately for me, it happened around that time. He showed me his phone. Say, see, we currently have 2.82 million, close to 2 million. So this is it. It's either you go to Birmingham City University, and then your younger sister Busola will have to probably go to public secondary school. I know I slept that night, and I said that's how adulthood started for me. I said, it was a whole lot. I had to, when your father just give you 2 options, and you're considering your younger one, like it's not just all about me. And then they used to see it then. I said I was my dad's favorite. I went to that kind of school. My dad can do anything for me. And then I woke up. I said, Daddy, don't worry. I'll continue with the jam and post jam. That's how I left that. He still pay me to today, but I forfeited the admission. So fast forward to finally at the 4th year I gained admission into school. So I got to school with that street smartness. Let me go back to it. Like I knew what I wanted. I had a vision and a picture of the kind of life I want to live. Do you understand? So I started making some decisions in my life very early that sometimes when I say some things among my mates, they're like, you're just from like what? You don't think the way we think. So I said it's because I had to face some things in life. I had to learn some things, and thank you. And I had to do a lot of things based on what life showed to me and brought before me. I had decisions, and I had to make some like spontaneous decisions about my life and all of that. So like I wrote here, I said it's growing. Adulthood is growing and learning to be comfortable with not your status quo, but whatever situation you are in at that moment. But having the mind that adulthood will take a toll on you. Is it in your career? Is it marriage? Like relationships? as long, so it will take a toll. Just be prepared for it and be ready for it. So it doesn't, adulthood doesn't need to be black and white. It can be as colorful as you have your dreams, your imagination. Like I see dreams to have a very massive building, drive nice cars. The NGOs I want to have is still possible, even though it's not looking like it. And then I accept that. I said, I wish I could say that I'm there, but man, I'm not near it. Like, I'm not close to it yet, but I have that. So, like I said, adulthood will have a toll on you, but have that dream, that imagination should not leave you. Because
most of I realize that it's beyond imagination. And the point is, you see yourself behaving like it already.
Like it, you already have that picture in your mind. So we don't lose our dreams, we don't lose the imaginations, and we keep striving and learning to survive the harsh reality of being an adult.
At the same time,
enjoying the moment. That's
the
it. Like the like I said, my current process like this. It might not be what I want to, but I'm enjoying it, and I'm learning in that same phase and all of that. So that's just adulthood for me.
One of the things you have to is help us like have compassion for
Yeah.
people. You tend to read some people when they explain some things to me, even though I do not tell them anything about myself, I can really tell the kind of things. So when I'm looking at them and it seems like this person wants to give up, I'll just be doing things unconsciously to just encourage the person that don't worry, things will be fine. Things will be fine.
And the God factor, like there's a way God will just chat you because of your life, and then you'll be in a meeting, you'll be in a place, and they'll be like, what if I was not here? It was just God that just made you. Like you hear some things, and you'll be like, maybe your head wants to start, and then you just hear that word. It's just like word in season, and you just feel this is what you need for your next phase of life, and that's it. So there's this God factor. Even days that we just forget, like, there's this God somewhere, but God will just always find a way to bring us back to where He wants us to be at that time.
Okay, I think we've come to the end of this conversation, and I can actually say I've actually learned a lot from this conversation, because I wasn't seeing life from the perspective you guys were seeing it, or you guys have been seeing it from, and I'm very sure it could be like that for you also. So we're at the end, and I just want us to drop our 10 cents. Like, what would you rather say, or what was like your last statement for this episode?
For me, I would like to speak to, adult is in phases anyway. But for me, my 10-sec comment would be to people that are planning to get married. To people that are planning to get married as a man, is as much as you want to get married, try and be responsible for somebody or if you are planning to get married as a man, be responsible for some things around you. Just take responsibility for things. Then you will really come to the realization if you are ready or not ready.
Okay, for me, to young adult parents right now, I think that we should pay attention to teaching children around us the importance of knowing how to interact with the world. Standing for themselves, knowing what to do part-time, other than just focusing on what they do in the classroom. Teach them how to interact with the world, show them, and of course, let them know the importance of also excelling academically. That's that. Then for adults, enjoy the process, like I said. As you're charting the course, the big picture you see, enjoy the moment, enjoy every step of the way. They all had to the big picture. If you do not, so that's that. Just enjoy the process, go with it, go with the flow. For those little steps you take are actually taking you somewhere. We can only dream. right? And there's one thing I always tell God, that see, I don't want to work a day out of destiny. Like every step of the day, every day of my life, I want to be in line with destiny. Do you understand? So it may not make sense to you, it may not make meaning to you, but be rest assured that you're headed somewhere. Do you understand? And keep working hard towards it.
Okay, I round up with this. I would say that life is not fair, and you need to get used to it. The earlier the better for you. So you don't expect life to hand you what you want, like the things you think you deserve. You have to go for it. Professor said, you go hard or you go home. Like, that's one thing that I think I'm actually going on with what you just said. Like, you go hard, anything you want, just go hard for it. Don't expect life to just bring it to your table. Of course, if it brings it, I would gladly accept and hug it. So I'd also say that, yes, I would also say that as an adult, you don't have to have it all together. Nobody has it all together. You know, there are times that we used to look at those people like ahead of us and be like, this man just has a perfect life. I think you need to get close to them and you see that, we are not all perfect. Nobody has it. We are just trying to put it.
You don't need to get close to anybody. And if it looks perfect,
no, you know, back then we used to look at those.
Work for it.
Yes. So like nobody has it all together. And then lastly, you can't do it all alone. You need people. I need you. And okay, this is Dollar Cost podcast, right? And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of us here. He needed us to come together and then have this discussion. So imagine if I'm the owner of the podcast and then we keep hearing only your voice. I'll be bored. I want to hear people's perspective. I want to hear people's view and all of that. So you can't do it all alone. You need people. And then lastly, I'll say that you need God in every phase of your life. Like, I can't imagine my life without God. Like, it's not just an hearsay. Like, people just want to, it's not a cliche that God, don't let me say it, don't let me look like I'm not spiritual or something. God is the big deal. Like, there's a way it just, like, I think about my life, and I'll be 30 in October this year, and I'm like, even though it looked like my journey is not as fast as I wanted, you know, I had these dreams, I had this goal, and then this phase of my life, look at what is happening and all of that. But I just see God in it, in every phase. And then I started giving glory to God, that God, the same way I had delay for 4 years, I'm like, if I had gotten to school immediately after my admission with the kind of people I had in secondary school, I might have been a wayward girl. Like, you don't understand, I would have, like, I knew too much. So, but that, it was as if the 4 years of delay and all of that, God just used it to correct so many things. So I used to tell my dad, I say, you are lucky to have me as your daughter, because only me paid you. Like, you don't even need to pray too much and say, God, my daughter. Like, I know it's God though, but my head was just correct. You have a girl that I've been cooking 4 years. So, you know, the fear of my dad used to tell me that, like, God, I've been telling your mother I don't want a female child, because all of those things, you know, I'm always scared when you go to school, you know, for the guys they'll say don't join cultism, for the girls don't go and start having boyfriend and then you bring belle, you know, and all of that. So I was telling my dad, you don't need all those samu, and with God and all of that. So I'll just say God is the big deal, and it's just everything. Having that belief that you have God that would chart the course of your life, even though you go haywire, you go, you know, you misbehave, and then he will still hug you and receive you as his own and all of that. So that's what I have, and thank you for having me, Dolapo.
So final thought, I was going back to what I said before. Just like you're going to spend a considerable amount of time here, like your lifetime, like totality of it. So just remain humble and be open to learning. Don't be too dogmatic about your own views that you don't like this podcast has. This conversation has shown that like that is actually needed. You need several perspectives to stuff, because like your way might not be the correct way to go about something, and there's more to you than meets the eye. So just keep pushing.
I think for me, what I'll just say to round off my own thoughts will just be, I don't even know. For me, it's just God. Whatever the case may be, whatever situation you might find yourself, whether a child that is street smart, not street smart, a child that didn't come from a broken home, a child that came from a broken home, like, let God be so involved in your life that people won't even be able to like understand what's going on. Because in a way, if God is your father, he wants you to prosper. He wants the best for you, and you would always survive on earth. That's one of the beliefs I have, that no matter what I'm being faced with, no matter where I am, no matter how foolish I might be at a particular point in time, I would survive, and I would never stop growing. So that's just my own 2 cents, basically. Dolapo, thank you.
All right, thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you for listening to What You View with Olu Dolapo. Do not forget to share, like, and leave a comment. Remember, you can reach out to us on Instagram at whatyouviewwith_Olu Dolapo. And if you use Anchor, do not forget to leave us a voice message and leave a comment. Thank you once again for listening.